What's going on, guys? Finally got around to doing the Q&A video, so here it is. Just grabbed a couple of videos from a sort of different Warhammer and wargaming things, just in the background for you, a little bit of viewing pleasure, so you're not just staring at a JPEG or me waffling on for a bit. So let's get into these questions. Alright, first question comes from Zombies Are Cool Painting. And he says, I'd love to hear what techniques you mainly use when painting, and what's your main method for speed painting loads of troops? My main method for painting is, I'm a big fan of, depends on what it is I'm doing. If I'm doing lots of troops, I'm a big fan of base coats, you know, and then a highlight, and then wash. The GW washes are super effective at just giving you really quick, effective depth. Yes, it's not always as effective at painting it yourself, but if you're painting up, say, 40 troops all at once, it's definitely cuts your time way down. If I'm doing single miniatures, I'm a big fan of using the airbrush, but I'm also a fan of doing wet blending and layering. But that's just kind of me. I'm certainly no expert when it comes to painting. I just enjoy doing it, so that's how I approach it. Terrain Noob's got a couple questions. How the hell do you highlight black cloth and make it look decent? I have a complete fail every time I try. Black cloth, in my opinion, best way to do it, or how I end up doing it anyway, is I'll always do my highlights as close, just kind of mixing with black with a different color hue. So, I might use like a gray and, mix it into, really quite a dark gray, just so it's, so slightly visible, but just being very minimalistic where your highlights are, and trying to keep it like that. Failing that, edge highlighting with a color, I'm doing extreme highlighting like that, such as a lot of the Dark Eldar models painted by the Heavy Metal team are a pretty good indication of how to do that. I think that's probably the best way to approach highlighting black. What's my favorite? He also asked, what's my favorite model to paint, and what models do I hate painting? My favorite model to paint thus far? Damn. I've got a lot, I guess. I very much enjoyed painting up the Sanguinary Priest that my mate built. That's up on the Facebook page if you want to check that out. There's a link below. That was a lot of fun to do. Just, something cool and different. But I also enjoy painting, doing freehand on tanks and stuff like that. It's pretty fun just to be able to, do something that a lot of people are a little bit afraid to do. And I think it's cool to go out on a limb and just straight out do it, even if you suck at it. It's just fun. I hate painting models that lack detail to the extent that it's very, you as a painter are given what it is that you're meant to paint. Okay, that doesn't really make sense. If you've got like a very flat-faced, featureless face, just kind of like a blank scope, and you got to paint a face on there. For me, that's very difficult to do. I don't really have like the artistic ability or artistic vision to be able to just conjure it up in my mind. But other than that, I'm not really a huge fan of really clean, looks like Tau. I'm not a huge fan of like the Tau sort of stuff. I think it's a little bit too, a little bit too perfect for me, and it's not really my style. It doesn't really suit me. Night Goblin Shaman asks, will you be making more painting tutorial videos? Painting tutorial videos, if you've listened to anybody who's actually made them, will probably tell you that they're really quite difficult and time consuming to make. It's kind of like learning how to paint again, because you've got to hold the model so far away and have a camera in your face, and it's really quite difficult, unless you manage to have a pretty awesome setup and do a lot of practice. I don't mind doing it, but I just generally don't really get too much interest or asks for it. If people would like to see painting tutorials, I'm more than happy to do them. Just send me a shout of something that you'd like to see, and I'll see what I can do for you. Okay, Devastrike's asking, what would you tell someone who wanted to quit the hobby? It's kind of morbid. Honestly, you can't really stop somebody from, wanting to do something or not wanting to do something. If they really wanted to quit, I guess it would, really depend on what it is that they were, why it was that they were quitting. If it was to do with gaming, then maybe they should focus on, some of the other different aspects of the hobby. If, it's because of painting or whatever else, maybe, check out some commission painters. There are lots of different alternatives. I think it's just what you need to keep in mind is trying to, bring the happiness back so that you enjoy your hobby. Because, at the end of the day, that's what it is, all about enjoyment. Ren089, my man, he's got a question. Where is my Black Templars 5th edition codex, or is Games Workshop waiting for 6th? Honestly, I have no idea. There's been heaps and heaps of rumours circulating that, well, not rumours, but a lot of people speculating that the Black Templars is meant to be coming out. I don't envisage it coming out anytime soon. I think they might have just left it and leave it to, I guess, rot, if anything else. I'm not going to update it for a while. I don't know. I'm not particularly savvy when it comes to rumours. Sorry, Ren. Not really sure. Next question is from Spiral Vex, and he was asking, what is your favourite unit in the Eldar Codex, and which has been most effective for you? My favourite unit in the Eldar Codex has got to be the Harlequins, just purely because I love the fluff for them. Oh, my Zone, which is old! And I love the models. I think the models are awesome and some of the best models that you can get from Games Workshop. In terms of most effective for me, either Fire Dragons, because they are amazing. They've been fantastic. Whipping a Wave Serpent, they always manage to do something. The other unit that I've found has been surprisingly really quite effective is taking a unit of 20 Storm Guardians with 2 Flamers and a Warlock that has the other, I think it's Destructor. So basically, and then sitting it next to a Wraith Lord who has 2 shoulder-mounted Flamers, and just sitting it on a home objective. Like a lot of people just pummel into it and hammer away with like a lot of long-distance things, but with Emboldened, they're not going to run. And Concealment, they're getting their cover saves, and anything that comes near is just going to get whacked with 5 flame templates, which is enough to worry just about everybody. So that's probably been the most effective thing for me. Archaeolus, and I'm sorry man, but I get your name wrong every single time, I swear to God. Okay, if a warp storm manifested in or near our solar system and the forces of chaos emerged from it, intent on killing or converting everyone on the planet, would you fight or convert in the hope of being blessed with an awesome mutation? And if you could choose, what kind of mutation would you want, i.e. ranged or assault? Damn, dude, I'm already converted. I'm already there, man. I'm representing Slaanesh something hardcore. No. I would definitely convert. I mean, why the hell wouldn't I? It'd be awesome fun. Being psychotic and just, all about killing everything. As for ranged or assault, probably, I don't know, assault's pretty cool. Getting up nice and nitty-gritty and ripping out people's rib cages and all that fun stuff. Isn't that just delightful? Lovely, lovely image. So thanks for that one, buddy. Alright, next question comes from Under Fire at 987. Why do you still play Games Workshop games when they have insulted everyone in your country and raised their prices even more so than most other places? And also, why do so many people like the Fluffer 40k? I don't see what they like about it personally. Sorry, I need to add this as well. I know Games Workshop paints will never be competitive with Vallejo paints, or I disagree, and especially Reaper paints, my fave paint to paint with. The GW containers suck and I've always disliked their paint line, never good colour matching at all, and I will definitely stick with my Vallejo and Reaper paints any day over GW. What are your favourite paints? Okay, first one, about insulting everyone from GW and all that. I still play Games Workshop because at the end of the day it is by far the most popular current gaming system. I do play other games. I play War Machine for sure, and I'm definitely open to other things. I very much like to get into Infinity and Malifaux, and Grom. Big shout out to my buddy New Icon and Grom. I'll put a link in the description to him and Crushpop Productions because that's awesome. Alright, sorry about that. Okay. Honestly, I don't buy here. I know that they have the embargo, but I still don't buy here in Australia. So, I don't really support them here in Australia. It's just kind of how it is. The Fluffer 40k, I personally am not a huge fan of the Fluffer 40k. It doesn't really quite appeal to me as much as, War Machine engages me and whatever else. Some of the stuff in 40k is pretty cool. But I don't know. I'm not terribly into it. You know, I'm not a huge fluff person when it comes to it. And my favorite paints. I have all of the. Well, I don't have all of the extensive lines, but I have paints from Vallejo, Game Color, and Model Air, and Model Color. I have Reaper Master Series. I have Games Workshop paints. You know, I've definitely got and P3 paints. I've definitely got quite a bit of an extensive collection. And I use different paints from everything. A lot of people write Games Workshop paints off. I can't speak for the current line. I haven't used them. But the line pre the old one wasn't that bad. They had some pretty alright colours in there. I do like the metallics, and I think their washes are fantastic. I never really got into the foundation paint, but that's just me. As for Vallejo's fantastic. I just like the fact that they have very similar colours to Games Workshop, but, you know, a bit of a better quality and dropper bottles. But Reaper Master Series have got to be my ultimate favourite. They're very thin, so they lend themselves so well to blending and layering. And their colour, you know, their colour selection is humongous. So probably Reaper Master is my main one. Alright, this question comes from Michael Huntington. How do you make the paint on a model look realistic? I have painted a couple of models and have picked them up afterwards, looked at them, and saw that they were all shiny and fake looking. It wasn't too bad, but it still annoyed me. Any help would be fantastic. I don't know, because in my opinion, my models, that when they come out, they don't look realistic. They look like I painted them. They look like painted models to me. I probably am not the best person to tell you, but what I would envisage it is just practice, 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 man. Blending is key, getting colour theory down, getting to the point where your paintings, chances are, unless you devote, you know, a humongous amount of time to it, you're not going to get to that realistic appearance, in my opinion, and true realism anyway. You know, the people who paint to that level are absolute, incredibly talented individuals. Who dedicate huge amounts of their time to being able to master the skills of blending and, you know, color theory and all that good stuff, and, you know, photorealism. It's not just something that you can just kind of like tell someone, oh, well, you know, if you put this additive in, you'll be just fine. You know, everything will look amazing. If you're having a problem with shininess, try out matte varnish additives. Whether or not, you know, you want to add it to the paint or just maybe give it a matte coat afterwards if you're having too much shine. But yeah, no, I can't really help you too much there, I guess. IDIC Beer. Anything for a shout out, lol. What do you think of the new Necron Codex? The new rules, the new minis, and the new fluff? Should they have kept the original fluff and mixed it with the new fluff somehow, or was a total rewrite the correct way to go? Also, does 40k need a new race of some sort? I played against a new Necron Codex only once, and when I did, I found that it was very low model count, and I managed to pound the absolute shit out of it from a range and left it without too much. But by the time it did end up getting into close combat with me, friggin' Shackle Scarabs massacred the crap out of me. They're pretty brutal. So that was pretty cool, I guess. There. So, you know, as far as I'm aware, because the guy in our club is doing pretty well, the new Necron one was pretty good. The new minis that I've seen look pretty cool. They're pretty interesting. It's cool to have something different, like the arcs and whatnot. But hey, I guess it is, you know, I guess it comes down to what it is that you're into. And as for the fluff, consistency I think is generally better because people don't like change. I think they should have mixed it to some sort of extent, or just completely left it alone. I'm not a huge fluff person, so I'm probably not the best person to ask about it, but yeah, no, that's kind of how it goes. And as for a new race for 40k, I don't think it's that we need a new race for 40k, I just think we need less focus on Space Marines, man. Like, you know, you play Fantasy, there's not one, you know, overall dominating race, whereas you play 40k, you know, just about every second race is, or just about every second person that you're playing, if not, you know, every person that you're playing is, a Space Marine of some degree. So I'd like to see a bit of a shift in focus from Space Marines to other things. I don't think we need like another race altogether. Alright, final question is from Pagan Phone, and he sent this to me through personal message. So this one, I'm making it a little bit more of a more specific shout out, for obvious reasons, as will become clear as we go along. I had a question about how you got into commission work. I've now done 2 commissions and I'm debating how to get about getting my name out there. I've tried uploading regular YouTube videos and publicizing them on the Wargamer AU forums, but my videos still only get about 30 odd views, so I'm thinking I need to find a new way. Okay, well, I'll answer first for the first bit. I got into commission work because I wanted to do commission work. I thought at first, oh, how cool to be, earn a bit of money just from painting, doing my hobby. That would be fantastic. And I've since learned that, it's a lot more complex than that, and it's not quite as, I guess, enjoyable as one would, assume. So yeah, there's that. As for getting your name out there for commissions, best way is just good content, man. Like, just have lots of stuff around. Drop your name in as many places as you can. Go to like the Daka forums and whatnot, and let people know that you're doing commissions, and show your work, show some of your best work so people know what you've got. Set up a blog, set up a pricing thing. Talk to your friends. Make them, ask them to go around and sprout about you and whatnot. Do whatever you got to do. Just the more place your coverage, the more traffic you're gonna get, and the more likely you are to find someone who's willing to give you a commission. It's slow at first. You have to understand it is slow at first until you get a couple people who give you a bit of a break and whatnot, and then people will see that you're the real deal and whatnot, and you'll be far more likely to get some more work. So that's how I'd go about it anyway. Alright guys, so that wraps up the Q&A with Ghost. Thanks to everybody who left their questions and whatnot. It's actually pretty interesting, thinking about a few things that I haven't already. If you do have any more questions, or anybody has any questions that they'd like to ask, leave them in a video, and if we get enough of them, then for sure we'll do have another little sit down and whatnot. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one with some content. Take care. If you enjoyed this video and don't want to miss anything coming out on the Ghost channel, head on over to the official Ghost channel Facebook page and like it. You won't miss a trick and get extra updates and progress reports not shown on YouTube. What's not to love? The link is displayed and is also in the video description.
You feel the clips like Pharrell. You will feel me. You will admire. Struggle, hustle, soul, desire is still.
If you enjoyed this video and don't want to miss anything coming out on the Ghost channel, head on over to the official Ghost channel Facebook page and like it. You won't miss a trick and get extra updates and progress reports not shown on YouTube. What's not to love? The link is displayed and is also in the video description.
You feel the clips like Pharrell. You will feel me. You will admire. Struggle, hustle, soul, desire.